Objections are not the same as refusals. A refusal is a flat no when the prospect is unwilling to engage in a conversation. Objections are requests to continue the conversation. They're opportunities to provide additional information. They generally fall into 4 basic categories. Number 1 is no need. The prospect is not convinced that they really need your product or service to help them in their current situation. The second is no money. The prospect doesn't know if he or she can afford your product or service. The third is no hurry. The prospect is not ready to buy because they have more pressing issues they must face before they can really look at the issue your product or service addresses. And the last one is no confidence. The prospect is not sure if you, your company, or your product or service are the right ones for their situation. The first obstacle you'll most likely experience is no confidence. It's up to you to ascertain if the client or prospect lacks confidence in the product or service, the company, or the salesperson, you. You'll need to ask questions to find where their objections lie and then immediately address those concerns. Emphasize that you and your company are committed to taking care of their needs or desires and helping them address any issues they may have. Here is the 5-step process for addressing objections. Number 1, listen. Understand and empathize with the prospect as you analyze their objection. You need to pay close attention to the real underlying concern so that you can offer an appropriate answer to alleviate their uncertainty. Most objections are symptoms. You need to uncover the underlying problem. Number 2, understand. Make sure you don't belittle or argue about the prospect's concern. Give it the same level of importance that the prospect does. Number 3, restate and agree. Repeat the prospect's objection to show that you understand it. Ask a few more questions to make sure that all of his or her objections, usually symptoms to a problem, are out in the open. You'll want to address them all at once in order to uncover the real problem and thus make the process run more smoothly. Without these first 3 steps, you may just treat a symptom rather than the real cause for concern. Number 4, solve. Develop a solution that addresses all of the concerns. If you didn't uncover all these concerns in the previous step, they'll appear after you provide a solution, forcing you to begin the cycle again. This cycle can be repeated only a few times before the prospect loses patience and moves from objection to refusal. That's why it's so important to take the time in the previous steps to uncover all the objections at once. Number 5, take action. This is the point in the process where you can ask the prospect for the sale. They do expect you to do just that. After presenting a solution to your prospect's problem and addressing their final concerns, you're ready for the final sale. Clients often give off buying signals. You can find examples in the reading section of this module. If you're prepared for the appointment, the closing will be a natural part of the conversation. You want to build a relationship with the prospect and be aware of how men and women differ on their approach to relationships. Therefore, you need to believe in what you're selling and that the prospect really wants and needs your product or service. Now, these tactics are not about tricking someone into buying what they don't want or what they don't need. They're about helping the prospect understand how your product and your service will assist them in addressing their problems, their needs, and their desires.